Welcome everybody to Snake Cinema Reviews. I'm your host Prince Elias, and today is the year-end wrap-up. That's right, my top 10 films of 2020. And later on I will be uploading another video with the honorable mentions because I had a hard time selecting 10 because there was just so many good content, especially on streaming services. So yeah, I'm gonna give you my top 10, and then in a different video I'll give you the honorable mentions. Now I'll try my best not to make this as long as the music top 10 because those videos were pretty long, but it might happen. Just, you know, I'll try to make this quicker and not talk forever. Anyways, so let's start with number 10. Number 10 is Heaven Gates Cults of Cults, which is streaming on HBO Max. Now, a lot of movies, I've watched so much documentaries this year, being in quarantine, being on lockdown. And so this list, I'm just gonna be honest, this list is gonna have more documentaries than any other genre. But Heaven's Gate Cult of Cults was amazing. I love true crime docs. I love docs on cults and religion and stuff like that because it just fascinates me how people can be manipulated or abused. It's just interesting, you know, learning about the human psyche and what people are capable of. And so Heaven Gates is one of those. It takes you deep into the you can watch my review, but it pretty much takes you deep into the victims, the people who survived, and less of the actual leaders, you know, the people, the manipulators, the egotistical monsters they were. It gave you more of the victim stories and the people that, you know, who survived either the mass suicide or, you know, just got out the cult early enough to where they didn't get caught up in that. So yeah, that is my number 10 of the year. Number 9, another documentary, and it dropped early in the year. I remember it's like January, February, and that's Netflix's The Mind of Aaron Hernandez. Takes you behind the scenes and goes in depth of, you know, the famed football player turned murderer, and you know how he destroyed people's lives and their families, and how he destroyed his own life. And that was a very dope, I like how that documentary was made. It was just very dope, and I learned something new on a case that I heard many years ago, you know, when it first happened on the news, but I didn't follow it that much in depth until I watched this documentary, and I learned a lot more than what I did. And it's just fascinating. Great documentary. It's on Netflix. The Mind of Aaron Hernandez. That is my number 9 pick. Number 8, another documentary. I'm sorry y'all, but documentaries have been killing it on HBO Max. It is Class Action Park. Now, for those who know me personally, I used to work at a theme park in Florida, and so I know all too well about theme parks, water parks, amusement parks, and Class Action Park. I still to this day don't see how that thing existed and how it lasted the way it, as long as it did. But man, I love the documentary. I love how it was shot. I love the animation that they had added to it to describe some of the accidents and deaths that occurred at that water park. And I just love hearing from the people who worked there back when they were teenagers or college students, and just the stories that they had about seeing just the wildest of things, whether rides breaking down or just people doing stupid stuff on the rides and resulting in bad injuries and deaths, and how this owner of the park just got away with so much shit for so long until it finally shut down. So Class Action Park, yeah, if you don't watch no other documentary, watch that one. That one is highly entertaining, highly informative, and again, I don't see how that park lasted as long as it did, because it lasted a while. Number 7, another, I'm sorry y'all, documentary, but this was personal and close to my heart for so many reasons, and that is Disclosure, a Netflix documentary tackling and talking about the history of trans people, transgender folks, and you know, how society demonized them over the years, how Hollywood demonized them over the years, and you got to hear from a lot of amazing, talented, wonderful trans activists, actors, actresses. It's just a beautiful film, and that's on Netflix, so I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen my review on it, go back, look it up, watch it. It is amazing. Go watch Disclosure. If you don't know anything about transgender people, watch it. It will educate you and open your eyes to a lot of things. But yeah, Disclosure on Netflix, a great documentary. I love it. Number 6. Okay, now we're getting out of the documentaries and getting to you know, the acting, storytelling part. And number 6 is Waco. Waco, I believe it's on Netflix. I can't remember, but it is a dramatization. It's not a documentary, it's a dramatization of the things that happened in Waco. So it's actually actors acting and telling the story. And I think they did a good job balancing the different points of views, although I do agree, in my mind, I agree that the government fucked up when it came to Waco. Yes, the cult leader, he was fucked up, you know, marrying kids, marrying young girls, taking other people's wives. He was a fucked up individual. But when it came to the negotiation part and starting that fire that killed all those people, including those children that they claimed they were trying to save, I believe the government was at bigger fault. They could have handled that situation a lot better than how they did, and could have saved a lot more lives than what they did. But this was a dramatization of it. The actor who played the cult leader, he looked and sounded like him. If you watch a Waco documentary with the real guy and then you watch this film, you think they the same person. You think the man done came out the grave and decided to act in his own movie. That actor was amazing. All the actors were amazing. From the negotiator, the FBI negotiator, to, you know, the people, the members of the cult and stuff. It was a real, even if a lot of it was dramatized and you know, artistic liberties were taken, it was still a good, well acted, well shot, and very emotional movie. By the end, I was just like, dang, it really got me in the heart. You know, when they got to the end, showing, you know, all those people down in that fire and some of them escaping, jumping out of the building and stuff. It was a deep movie. And I think when it comes to biopics, when it comes to dramatization, acting versions of real life events, I think this is higher up on that list. This was a real good biopic. So Waco on Netflix. All right, number 5. Number 5 pushed another movie out and made the list because it just came out on Christmas Day, and that is Disney Pixar Soul. That movie, go watch my review on it. I'm not going to harp on it, but that movie is perfect. Pixar, top 5 Pixar movies, and Pixar has now 23 films. If you add Soul, they now have 23 films in their arsenal. This is top 5 for me, in my opinion. I feel like it's a perfect companion piece to Inside Out, even though it's not really. But I feel like the themes that they tackle, you know, life, death, mental illness, dreams, goals, all that other stuff, you know, living life to the fullest, being present, it's like a perfect companion piece. But I think Inside Out, it's going to be more understood with the younger audience, whereas Soul is for everybody. The young kids will like the little soul creatures. They'll like the colors and the visuals, but the adults, teenagers, young adults, older people, they will get this movie more than the younger kids, the themes, the meanings, and it will mean a lot to them. But I think they tackle very dark and deep subjects very well. So yeah, so at the last minute of my list, I made this list 2 weeks ago, and I had to reverse some stuff and make Soul number 5. Number 4 is Spike Lee's The Five Bloods. It is streaming on Netflix. This is one of Spike Lee's best, at least of recent years. The Black Klansman was also great. that he finally won his Oscar for. But The Five Bloods, to me, that's even better, in my opinion. Some people say The Black Klansman is better, but I just really love this film. It's very beautifully shot. All the actors were amazing, Chadwick Boseman and everybody else in between. It was an amazing movie, and it tackles, you know, black Vietnam veterans, and which my grandfather was one. And so, and it talks about, you know, PTSD and family and supporting and betrayal and all this other things, mental health. And it's just a great film. Spike Lee did an excellent job with this film, and I hope that he get an award for. I hope that the award shows don't forget about this movie, because this movie came out maybe spring or summer of this year. I pray that they don't get left out of consideration, because this is one of his best works, and that says a lot, because he has a lot of great works in his catalog. Number three took the world by storm. It took me by storm, and that is the Hamilton play, film, whatever movie, on Disney Plus. When that movie came out, because the thing is, Hamilton was such a elitist play. It was, you know, tickets, nosebleed tickets, $200, $300, $400, shit like that. People can't afford that shit. At least not me. I can't afford that shit. And so to finally have it available for everybody on Disney Plus, where anybody and everybody could see, that thing had a resurgence. It went off the rails. Everybody was talking about it for at least 2 or 3 weeks, probably more than that. It was just amazing, and it was worth the hype. I heard the soundtrack back when the play first came out, and I love the music, so I was familiar with the music. But to finally see the visuals, see the story up close in person, you know, visually see it and see the amazing actors and actresses play these characters, it was just amazing. Lin-Manuel Miranda did an amazing job creating this play, and I just love it, and I've been rewatching it all year long on repeat, at least once a week. I've been watching it since it came out on Disney Plus. So that is my number 3. Now it's number 2. Number 2 could have, just like in my music review, it's just like my music year and wrapped up, number 2 could have been number 1, but it kind of got knocked out. But it still doesn't take away the greatness of this, and that is Black is King on Disney Plus by Beyonce. That is amazing. Nobody watched my review on that video. I think I got like 1 view on that video, but it was amazing. Go watch it if you haven't. If you have Black is King, if you have Disney Plus, go watch Black is King. I know a lot of white people were in their feelings by the name of it, saying it was racist and some other bullshit, and tried to make it a controversy, but nah, fuck that. It is an amazing film, amazing visual, amazing companion piece to The Lion King, but also a love letter to Africa, a love letter to black people in general, a love letter to culture and music and Afro beats, Afro pop. It was just a beautiful movie, and the album itself is amazing. It was my favorite album of the year it came out. I think it was last year or 2018, whatever it came out, I can't remember, but it was my best album the year it came out. And just to see the visuals, everybody that was a part of that project did an amazing job. So that is number 2, Black is King on Disney Plus. Now number 1, and it's about to start raining, so I'm gonna hurry this up. Number 1 is The Devil All the Time on Netflix. If you would have told me that Tom Holland, Mr. Spider-Man, Pennywise, and Bucky was gonna be in a movie together, and it was gonna be fire, it was good, man. That movie blew me out the water. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this looks interesting. A drama about religion and all this other stuff, you know, crazy country rednecks. I didn't expect everything to go down the way. I did not expect that. The trailer doesn't tell you shit when it comes to how this movie goes down. It is amazing. The actors were amazing. Some people said that their southern accents were over exaggerated. No, I know some people who talk like that in the South. I was born and raised in the South my whole life. People in Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, New Orleans, there are people who exist who talks like this. So they did not exaggerate with their accents. They did a good job It was just Bill Skarsgård. He needs an award. Even though he wasn't in the movie the entire time, Bill Skarsgård needs an award for that film. And so does Tom Holland. Tom Holland did an amazing job, and it's cool to see him do something more dramatic outside of the MCU, outside of Spider-Man. Go watch it. The Devil All the Time is an amazing film. I wish we didn't have this situation of 2020, because I would have watched that in the theater. I would have paid 20 bucks to go see that in the movie theater. But I'm glad it was on Netflix. I'm glad I got a chance to watch it. That is the best film of this year, in my opinion. So that is it. That is my top 10. Be on the lookout for my honorable mentions. But what do you think? Comment below. What is your favorite films, your top 10 movies of the year? Comment below, let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next review. Peace.